Hey ladies, okay, so I'm just gonna do a really quick video. I always say that and then they're always so long, but I'll try. On our next two Fill Your Freezer Fridays dinners. And what's so funny is I wanna make sure that I like the recipe first and that it looks like it's something I would have frozen a long time ago when I did this all the time. So both of these have onions and bell peppers in them. And if you're brand new here, I do not really care for bell peppers, especially if they're crunchy. I wish I could, make the bell pepper nachos that people like. That's just not gonna happen for me. So these are my thoughts on like the fajitas. I have a couple of ideas. One, if you're like me, my first thought is to go ahead and prep them, slice the onions and the peppers and pre-saute them, but don't cook them all the way. Don't cook them until they're exactly what you would want. Cook them, I'm gonna guess about a third of the way so that they still have crunch to them, but they're not quite so raw. Because especially if the meat's done, sometimes if we have thicker strips of the bell peppers, those are still gonna be pretty crunchy. But if we overcook them, they will end up being mushy and then you'll wonder where the bell peppers went. I do call this fajitas, but to me a fajita, comes out on that thing, I have no idea what it's called, at a Mexican restaurant, and it's all sizzling and it's all hot, and usually the peppers and onions are not cooked all the way. And so we're cheating by using the crock pot, or I'm gonna call it cheating, but they're not gonna have that same sizzle effect. But what I do like to do is take them out. I don't want this recipe to cook like the Chipotle chicken recipe that we did yesterday, or I had yesterday, pulled it from the freezer. I use the meat masher, I have no idea what to call it, and just mashed all the chicken up with the juices that were in there, and it was perfect. You can do that with this chicken if you want, but me personally, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna try to take the chicken out and hopefully not let it cook too long, and then try to at least get chunks of chicken, like the small strips. It's gonna be difficult to have it perfect like a fajita. Now obviously you could do this and not cook it in your crock pot. Like I've said, for all these recipes, the crock pot point is to make my life easier, and if it works for me and it helps me, I'm sure it's going to help other people. Depending on how you'll want to eat it is how you're going to cook it. And again, you could throw this, I have a chicken fajita sheet pan recipe that is so good, but I'm not turning my oven on. I don't know when we're going to get back to the 90s. It's just, I think we had one day in like the past couple of weeks that was like 99. So no oven, my house is hot. The steak, I don't remember what it was called that I shared, steak and peppers, and I think it's pepper steak, I don't remember. That meat, you can use, I've used tenderized round steak, you can use sirloin steak pieces. I've even seen people make pepper steak with like roast, that they take the big roast and they cut it up into strips and little chunks. You use whatever it is you can find. This is not to break the bank. This is supposed to be hopefully financially helpful. And again, with the peppers and the onions. And I never finished my other thought. My other thought is they do sell a frozen pepper and onion chunks, or they may even have strips. I'm not 100% sure. Because I have bought the peppers and onions before and used it in my fuel pull burrito bowl recipe. I don't know what else to call it. I used that once because I didn't have what I wanted. But anyway, I can eat those peppers and onions just fine. But I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'll figure it out tomorrow. I'm going to take my daughter to the library with my grandchildren, and I'm going to go to the store then and get my stuff. And I'll show you what I get. Again, if I do buy raw bell pepper, I am pre-cooking at least partially because I just don't want the crunch. And you don't want to cook it too much because then it will be mush and you'll wonder where in the world your bell peppers and onions went. That is it. I will be back here Friday, of course. I'm going to go tomorrow and get my supplies so that we can be ready to cook, hopefully on time on Friday. I hope you're at least finding a way to stay cool, because I think it's pretty much hot everywhere in the United States right now. Bye.